Welcome back to Cheyenne Tarot. This is a pick a card reading for your week ahead. So this is dealing with the week of the 16th through the 22nd. So March 16th through the 22nd, 2020. Your week ahead. What should you expect next week? What should you be focused on? Things of that nature. Okay, so we're gonna go through the piles. This is pile number 1, which is the red. Pile number 2, blue. Pile number 3 is the orange, and pile number 4 is the light green. All right, so what you're going to do, you're going to scan all 4 colors, and whichever color you tend to keep going back to, you know, the color that you just keep staring at, I believe that's the correct pile for you. All right, so we're going to start with pile number 1, and let me remove the other piles. Just bear with me. Oh wow, forgot a card. And I do these readings every week, so be sure to subscribe and you will get notified. And so I do your week ahead readings every week. Okay, if you enjoy my readings, please subscribe to my channel, like the video. Okay, so for pile number 1, the people who picked the red, what is your week ahead looking like? All right, what should you expect? What should you focus on for next week? If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Once again, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So first, let me lay out the cards, then I will go through them. Okay, so pile number 1, what should you expect next week? What should you be focused on? So we have the Thinker card. Go through the cards real quickly. We have Whole again. We have High Priestess. It says you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. And we have 10 of Cups. So let's just start with the 10 of Cups. So when I see the 10 of Cups, the first thing I think about is emotional fulfillment. So before, I know definitions of all my tarot cards, but the moment I flipped over this card, I thought of, oh, emotional fulfillment. And that's what this means, emotional fulfillment. But it also means if you don't feel emotionally fulfilled, getting support from family. As you can see, it's the husband and wife, the kids playing, and obviously if you deal with the same sex, it will be 2 women or 2 men and their kids and things of that nature. So, but this just represents family. Okay, so this is about you feeling emotionally fulfilled next week. Now, if you don't feel emotionally fulfilled right now and you need some emotional support, this card is saying next week to reach out for help to get that emotional support that you need, because that's what you deserve. You're supposed to feel next week emotionally content, emotionally satisfied. Maybe not mentally, but definitely, because we're going to get into the mental next, but definitely you're supposed to feel emotionally fulfilled next week. And if you don't feel that way, if you feel emotionally isolated or emotionally withdrawn, this card is saying to reach out to family. Okay, you need to feel happiness and joy, and something good might happen to you next week. But what I'm getting is emotional fulfillment. You need to feel emotionally fulfilled, and so you're either gonna feel emotionally fulfilled next week, or if you don't, this card is saying to reach out to family to get that emotional support that you need. Okay, now these 3 cards basically, I wouldn't say mean the same thing, but pretty much mean close to the same thing. So Thinker. So next week is about you thinking about your life, thinking about things, but it's deeper than that next week. You have the High Priestess card, which is you have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teachings. Okay, so of course, if you're teaching, you're thinking, you're writing, you're doing all that. But you also have the Whole Again card. So this card, basically, to sum it up, means that you have divine knowledge that you need to express. This card is about knowledge, and it's interesting. You have another. Now this card talks about you having divine knowledge, and this card is about you having divine knowledge. Okay, these two cards pretty much means the same thing. These cards are telling you to basically to express yourself, and to, now you can express yourself by teaching, by writing, by speaking, but what it's saying is that you have this knowledge that needs to be expressed. You have this knowledge deep down that you need to get out, that people will benefit from the knowledge that you have. Now this is about ancient knowledge. And so, of course, you know, who wakes up and remembers all the knowledge they have had from past lives? And that's if you believe in past lives. But these cards are basically saying the same thing. It's time for you to express your knowledge. So this could just mean you know how to cook well. This could mean, because when I do my readings, I take what the cards say and I also put a spin on it based upon what my intuition is telling me. So I deal with the everyday things in life. So this could, yes, this deals with ancient knowledge, but this also can deal with just whatever knowledge that you have accumulated, whatever experiences that you have, whatever skills that you can share with people. So once again, you may be good at cooking, you may be good at sewing, you may be good at doing videos, you may can teach a class on editing, how to edit videos. What I'm saying is you have some type of knowledge. You're good at something. I don't care if it's math, writing, you're good at something. And what this is saying, next week you need to start expressing that. If you need to teach a class, do that. That's okay. All right, you have knowledge about something. That's why this thinker card came out. You could be a very mental person as well, but there's something that you know very well. It's something that you're very good at, and Spirit is saying next week they really want you to focus on that. They really want you to share your knowledge. These three cards is about you sharing knowledge. Okay, thinking. All right, divine knowledge is another knowledge card. So once again, next week is about you feeling emotionally supported, whether you already feel that way or you need help. Reach out for emotional help if you need that. If you need emotional support, do that. This is the emotional fulfillment card. But most importantly, next week is really about you sharing your knowledge. Okay, whatever you're good at. Because a lot of people are different at different things. Whatever you're good at, next week needs to be the week that you start thinking about that and getting prepared to share that knowledge. You could possibly start to make money from what you're good at. Okay, because if you work a 9-to-5 job, that could be just something that you do for money. I'm talking about there's knowledge that you have that you could possibly make money from. There's knowledge that you have that people will enjoy, will like, that you need to share. Okay, like I said, it could be you are good at cooking, you could be good at drawing, you could be good at singing, dancing, you could be good at math, you could be a tutor. I mean, it's so many things that people are good at and have knowledge about. I don't care what it is. It's something that you are good at that needs to be shared with the world. Okay, and Spirit wants you to focus on that next week. All right, okay, so next week expect to be in thinking mode. Okay, expect that, and just know that whatever you're good at, that you could possibly make money from it. That the knowledge that you have, people want to learn it. People want to know more about it. Don't doubt yourself. Okay, pile number 1. So if this resonates, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and see you next time. All right, so for people who pick pile number 2, the blue, pile number 2, what should you focus on next week? What should you expect? I'm going to lay out the cards and I'm going to explain them. So this is a general reading. So take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If it doesn't resonate, please pick a different pile. And this is about what should you be focused on next week? What should you expect? Okay. So pile number 2. Again, this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. So pile number 2. And that's people pick the light blue. Okay, what I'm getting, there is some heartbreak dealing with love. Now someone who, once again, this is a general reading, okay, but someone who's watching this has already been through and a lot of us has been through heartbreak, but has been through some type of heartbreak recently, or it might happen next week, or something's going on with love, because we have a soulmate card. Now I know what you're saying, okay, this is soulmates, they look happy. Yeah, they do look happy, but we have the Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is about emotional and mental pain, despair, okay, and my intuition tell me is directly related to love. Someone is dealing with pain and love, and so Spirit wants you to get help. It says start delegating, ask others including me to help you instead of trying to do everything yourself. So with this Nine of Swords, this deals with emotional pain, but also deals with mental pain. So how I look at this is, when you're going through things emotionally, it affects you mentally, and when you're going through things mentally, it affects you emotionally. So if you're going through heartbreak and through love, okay, someone's hurt you, you've hurt somebody else, or there's been a breakup, it still can affect you not only emotionally but mentally. A lot of times when you're going through heartbreak, a person can lose their appetite. They can't sleep. This person, you see, they're up at night, they can't sleep, they're thinking a lot, they could be running the past events in their head. Why did I say that, or why did they say that, or did I see red flags? So just because someone is hurt emotionally does not mean that it doesn't affect them mentally. And the Nine of Swords directly relates to mental, because we're dealing with swords. Swords deals with communication and anything dealing with the mental. Okay, this is mental pain. Okay, despair, depression, and emotional pain. But it has this person up at night, it has them worried, they have a lot on their mind. Look at them. Okay, so someone that has picked this pile has recently or next week is going to continue with some type of mental pain, mental and emotional pain. And what I'm getting is dealing with love. Okay, and what Spirit is saying, that you need to start asking people for help. You can't do everything on your own. When you're going through emotional stress and mental stress, it's not fair to yourself to put all that on yourself. Okay, there's other people that can help you, and a lot of times people don't know what to do to help you if you don't tell them. They can't read your mind, so you have to let a person know what's going on with you and that you need help. Don't be prideful in that way. If you need help, if you need to ask someone for help, then do that. And back to what I was saying previously about emotional pain. So you could be going through emotional pain, but not only does it affect you emotionally, it affects you obviously physically. Sometimes you lose your appetite if you deal with a breakup. A lot of times you can't think clearly, maybe at work, because you're in so much emotional pain. It affects you mentally. And what I'm getting is that someone's been through emotional pain because they feel they broke up with a soulmate. So people deal with breakups all the time, romantic breakups, but when you feel that you broke up with a soulmate, it makes it worse, as you feel like this was the one and there won't be anyone else and there's no one better. So you start thinking a lot and just staying up at night, running the past events in your head over and over again. And so Spirit is saying you need help to get you through this. You need help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So we have the look beneath the surface. So we have a clown here. We have a person who's deceptive. And what I'm getting is that this so-called soulmate, a person that you thought was a soulmate, was deceiving you in some kind of way. It's deception in this situation. Or maybe you were deceiving yourself. And deceiving yourself just means that you had the red flags that were right in front of you, but you chose to not acknowledge them. A lot of people, I've been there, okay, where the red flags were there, but you didn't want to acknowledge them, or this person was hiding their true self. See, they have a mask on. Okay, this is the look beneath the surface. This is about a person who doesn't have morals, a person who's deceptive, a deceiver. Okay, someone in your life deceived you. This could happen next week, but what I'm getting is that this has already happened. And this is a continuation within next week. It's continuing, okay, of you trying to get over this heartbreak, over this pain, over the shock that maybe this person you thought was your soulmate turned out to be a devil in disguise. They had a mask on the whole time. And what Spirit is saying is that you need to ask for help. You can't do everything on your own. You can't deal with this emotional pain and you're still trying to pay bills and you're still trying to think about how you're going to better yourself. It's too much, okay? It's too much stuff going on at one time. You need help. And next week is about you. What the main message I'm getting is that next week is about you asking for help, to be honest with you. Because even though you have all these cards, I feel for someone this has already happened. They have already dealt with some emotional pain. They're already worried about things because of a romantic partner, someone who they thought was their soulmate, kind of found out this person had on a mask on the whole time and was deceiving them. So what I'm getting is that next week is just about you asking for help. If you need help dealing with this, if you need to go to a counselor, there's nothing wrong with going to a counselor. If you just need someone to help you around the house, because a lot of times too, when you've gone through a really bad breakup, it can debilitate you. I mean, you can be in bed for days. It can have you in severe depression. You can't focus at work. You might can't even go to work because you're literally just emotionally and mentally drained and gone. You can't function. Okay, so it's very important, who's ever watching this, that's in that type of state, that you're having a hard time sleeping and functioning, to ask for help. Okay, it's not weak to ask for help. You deserve to get help. And someone here was dealing with a deceiver, a person that was wearing a mask that you thought was your soulmate, and when you figured out this person wasn't your soulmate, it just devastated you. But it's saying next week is all about you at delegating, asking for help. You need someone to help you around the house. If you have kids, you need someone to help you with the kids. Whatever you need help with, ask for help, delegate. Okay, people don't know if you need help if you don't ask them. They can't read your mind. Okay, pile number 2, just hang in there. All right, you will get through this. Like I said, it's a general reading. Take what resonates, leave the rest behind. If this doesn't resonate with you, please pick another pal. If you enjoyed this reading, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and it's not weak to ask for help, and you will get through this. Okay. Okay, pal number 3, the orange people pick pal number 3. What does your week ahead look like? What's going on next week? What should you be focused on? If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel. All right, and like the video. If you like the video, hit the like button. And this is a general reading, so take what resonates, leave the rest behind. If this pal doesn't resonate with you, please pick another pal. We have 3. So what should you expect next week? What should be going on? So first we have not for you. Focus, intention. Keep your unwavering thoughts, feelings, and actions focused on your target, and you will make the mark. So bells will ring. So the moment I seen this card, the first thing my spirit told me, my intuition, however you want to say it, the first thing I got was a spiritual awakening, and that is a spiritual awakening card, and strength. So let's start with the strength card. What I mean is that you're going to need strength to get you through next week. Okay, you're going to need strength. All right, and why? Because next week is all about you realizing something. And you're realizing next week is that whatever you have been focused on is not for you. And that is a hard pill to swallow. Okay, once again, whatever you have been focused on, because you have the focused intention card, something that you have been focused on, that you put a lot into. It could be a relationship, it could be a career path you wanted. Pile number 3 is something that you were really focused on, that you thought was for you, but it's saying it's not for you. It's not for you. And what it's saying is that you next week, you're going to be awakened to that. You're going to start realizing that something's going to happen. And that's why you have the bells will ring. This is the awakening card. So this means spiritual awakening, right? This is the awakening card. You're awakening to deep knowing. This card is saying that you know deep down that whatever you thought was for you is not for you, and you are coming to that realization. So you're becoming more spiritual, believe it or not. It might not seem that way, but you're starting to your spiritual abilities are starting to awaken. All right, so clear knowing, clear seeing, clear hearing, things like that. And this card is saying you have awakened. Next week you're going to awaken to the truth, and the truth is that whatever you was focused on is not for you. It's not for you, and that you're going to need strength to get you through it. Because let's just say, I'm going to give you a prime example, that you went to school for 4 years and got a bachelor's degree, and while you were in school, pile number 3, you really thought this was what you went to school for, was what was for you. Once you got out of school, you realize this. Let's say you was hired at your first job straight out of school, and that job was the job that you always wanted. Is what you went to school for. And within a month or two within the job, you realize that, oh, this isn't for me at all. I don't want to do this at all. And so right at that moment, you have an awakening. You have realized something, that this is not for me. But that's painful, okay? Because you put so much focus and attention in school, so much time and years into school. That's what your focus was on. And then to realize it wasn't for you, and that you're in a career that you don't love, you feel like you waste your time. You feel like, what did I do all that for? And so that's when the strength card comes, giving you strength to get through this awakening, realizing what you was focused on is not for you. So it's time to accept that whatever you was previously focused on is not for you. It's not in your best interest for that. And that could be a relationship. I was just giving an example, one example of how this could be expressed in your life next week. It could be a relationship that you was really focused on. You gave your all into it, and now you realize the next week is not for you, but you're awakening to that. Sometimes awakening can start next week. This awakening, this realization is what I call it, can come to you next week, but you may not put action into place next week. Does that make sense? So next week you could just start realizing, hold on, this isn't for me. It could be a relationship, someone you're dating, it could be a career you're in. Next week is when you will realize, I'm not feeling this, okay? And you're gonna need strength to get you through changing your focus, because this card to me represents two things. It represents that whatever you was focused on, you're going to realize next week is not for you, and it's telling you to focus on something else. You're going to have to focus your attention on something totally different. And you're going to need strength to get you through that, because when you realize that's something that you put so much time and effort and focus on, whether a relationship, a goal, a career, a business, whatever it was, and for it to not go where you think it's going to go, and to realize it's just not for you, that is very painful, and it's shocking. It's shocking and it's devastating. So to get through it, you're going to need strength. And also, just because you are awakened to something, you realize something is not for you, doesn't mean you're going to put things into action. So just like if you were in a long-term relationship and next week you realize this isn't for me, it could take you 5 months from next week to actually end the relationship. So just awakening to something just means this is the beginning stages of what I look like. Not what I look like. This is the beginning stages of making a move to something better. Okay, you have to first realize it's not for you. So next week you're awakening. Someone who's watching this is awakening to something and realizing that it is not for them, that is what they were focused on, but it's time to change your focus to something that is better for you, that's going to be better for you in the end. And to please stay strong. Okay, pile number 3, realizing that something is not for you isn't the best feeling, but in the end it will work out, because since this is not for you, something better is for you. And now you're going to be in the process of next week of starting that process to get to what's better for you. So that is a beautiful thing. Okay, pile number 3. So if you like this reading, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and see you next time. Okay, for people who pick pile number 4, this is the light green. Pile number 4, what should you expect next week? What should you be focused on next week? What should you be focused on? What could possibly happen next week? All right, so this is a general reading. Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If this pile does not resonate, please pick another pile. Okay, if you enjoy my readings, please subscribe to my channel and like the video. Okay, so what should you expect next week? What could possibly happen for you, pile number 4, next week? So first we have the easy does it. There is no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring in perfect time. So first, obviously, self-explanatory. It's basically saying next week is about you slowing down. So next week is not about a lot of action. Next week, I don't feel that there's going to be a lot of action going on next week for you, pile number 4. The Temperance card. This card, immediately when I see this, the first thing hits me is balance. You see they have 2 cups. This looks like a woman in her hand. With cups deals with relationships, emotions, feelings. Water is flowing, emotions, and they're balancing the water from cup to cup. So this is dealing with balance. Okay, balance of emotions. And then you get the emotional flow card. Wow. So these 2, wow. And then higher power. So let's start the higher power card. You have this. So what it's saying for next week, you need to connect to your higher power. Whether I'm not religious, but you may be religious. Whatever higher power you pray to get you through hard times, next week is about you praying and meditating, connecting with your higher power. And you may say, why? Because you're going through someone who's watching this has been going through some things. And to get through that, to get through those things, you're going to need to connect to your higher power. That is what I'm getting. Next week is about you connecting to your higher power through prayer and meditation. So whatever that looks like for you, if you don't believe in God, just meditate and pray to whomever you do believe in. Okay? Because you're going to need to connect to that to get you through. All right? So we have emotional flow. So this card means that someone's been going through emotional pain. And you have suppressed that emotional pain. You may have been through some emotional pain recently, or it may have been some time. But even literally, if you don't express your emotions and you suppress your emotions, you could still have not processed emotions of something that has happened to you 5 years ago, or 10 years ago, or 20 years ago. Literally, you can suppress those emotions if you really wanted to, and that's not a good thing. This card is saying next week it's time for you to release those emotions of pain. Whatever you have bottled down and pushed down, you may feel it's weak to cry. I used to feel like that. You may feel it's weak to cry. You may stop your emotions from coming up. This card is Spirit is saying through this card is that you need to let your emotions flow. This is emotional flow card. Let them flow. I don't care if you think about something that happened 10 years ago and you're still upset about it. If you need to cry about, you're now weak because of that. Those emotions have to come out. They have to. And next week is saying that hopefully next week nothing doesn't happen to force you to cry, because that could happen. But what I'm getting is that there are some pent up emotions that you need to release, and next week Spirit wants you to release them. Okay, they need to be released next week. You need to start dealing with your emotions and not neglecting your emotions. It's like you don't neglect your health. So you get sleep, I'm assuming you eat, you shower. It's the same with your emotions. Your emotions need to be managed as well and taken care of as well. Okay, so someone that's watching this has suppressed their emotions, and they tend to not want to cry, hold things in, say, oh, I'm okay, and still dealing with some emotional pain. It needs to be released next week. Okay, that's very important for it to get released next week. We have Temperance. So this deals with flexibility, change, adapting. This is about you balancing your life and balancing your emotions. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting you to balance your emotions because you guys have been through a lot. Something's been going on, and maybe what I'm getting that you're trying to just push through and get through everything and not deal with your emotions and just say, well, there's nothing I can do about it. Let me just get through this. And it's saying to get through this, you're going to have to connect to your higher power through prayer, meditation, and to express your emotions. You got to release it. And you need to balance your life. And the way to balance your life is through expressing your emotions. You may not think your emotions are important because you can see your emotions and feel them, but this society, how can I say this? This society doesn't care about our emotions. If you are at work and you just got through a really bad breakup and you're just out of it, they don't care. You have to still come into work. So a lot of times, I hate to say this, a lot of times people don't care about your emotions. They expect you just to kind of get through it. They don't know that your emotions can debilitate you. You could be in so much emotional pain you can't get out of bed. You could be in so much emotional pain you can't even function. And this world doesn't really honor those emotions. That's why you have people who are counselors and therapists to help you through it, because your emotions can debilitate you and stop you in your tracks to where you can't function in life. So what Spirit is saying next week, you have held in your emotions for long enough. You need to express your emotions. You need to connect to your higher power, and you need to balance your life by expressing your emotions. Let them out. Do not suppress them. You have suppressed them. They need to be released like a flood. Let them flow. See, emotional flow. It's like a floodgate that opens up. And the Temperance card, once again, is about being flexible, change. You need to be flexible. You need to be balanced. You need to balance your life by expressing your emotions. Okay? You need to go with the flow. This is also what I'm getting. You need to go with the flow. Maybe things haven't been going your way, and it's telling you to go with the flow and to deal in self-care and acknowledge your emotions, acknowledge that you've been through some emotional pain, that things maybe not be going exactly where you want them to go. And that's why, to get you through this, you need to express your emotions and connect to your higher power. And then with the easy does it card, there's no need to hurry or force things to happen. Everything is occurring perfect time. This resonates with the Temperance card, going with the flow, being adaptable, being flexible, dealing with, going with the flow, dealing with change. Okay, expressing your emotions. At the same time you're expressing your emotions, you're praying, you're connecting to, you're praying, you're meditating, you're connecting to whatever higher power that you connect to. You're expressing your emotions, and then you're going with the flow at the same time. You're taking it easy. You're not rushing things to happen. You're not worrying. Next week is about you going with the flow, not trying to control anything next week. Easy does it, going with the flow, knowing that everything happens in perfect timing. You just need to next week focus on dealing with your emotions. Maybe they're not important to you, but I'm telling you, your emotions are important. I don't care if other people make you feel that your emotions are irrelevant. I'm here to tell you they are relevant. Okay, they are crucial to your mental health, to your physical health. If you're in a lot of emotional pain, it can affect you physically and mentally. Okay, so honor your emotions, let them come out, be balanced, and go with the flow. Don't rush things to happen. Next week is a what I call a week of self-care for you. It's a week for you to don't do too much next week. It's not about action and getting things done. No, next week is about you taking care of your emotions, taking care of yourself, accepting the things you cannot change, going with the flow, being flexible, connecting to your higher power to get you through this, and easy does it, because everything is occurring in perfect timing. Okay, so that is your reading for next week, pal number 4. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If so, please subscribe to my channel. Take it easy. Deal with any emotional pain that you have to bring up and release. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.